gentleman that you want.
Where is he? Sharp, sharp.
Welcome to another intriguing episode of the AIMS podcast, coming to you live from the stable of AIMS Media Company Limited. We are together in the studio with Hajia and Minat Muhammad, and she'll be the one to introduce our guest today. But before we go to our guest, what are we looking at today, Hajia?
Inheritance. How does it affect you? You have told people my name. What's your own name?
I am Mariam Thoban, also known as a celebrity presenter.
You're welcome. As usual, looking very radiant.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, ma. You too. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. So, okay. So inheritance. How does inheritance affect you? Have you ever had any practical experience of it? I have several I will share.
Well, I have. As a matter of fact, I have a very huge one, but I will not be talking about that today. This is that kind of session for that.
Hey.
So, but I also know that my father is the only child of his mother. So when his mother passed, all properties, no, not properties, all wares and stuff, they came down to us, the grandchildren, the granddaughters, because the male, there's nothing for the male, of course, there.
Oh, that's bonus for you.
So that's the only experience I can say comfortably speak of. Aside that, well.
So you should have both parents alive?
Yes, very much so.
Wow, I envy you.
Alhamdulillah.
Me, I'm a local, complete.
Oh, you're an orphan. You're an orphan. That's an orphan.
Orphan, complete.
So how was it like for you?
My dad died quite early at 50. So really nothing much to inherit beyond the edifice, the house, where I come from, naturally it goes to the first male child, But even then, it's still a gathering for us. Anywhere we go home for celebration, we're still there, like this last celebration. But for my mom, she died at about 70. But interestingly, some of the things we bought for her, I recall some of the fabrics that they brought out for us to inherit. There's some of the fabric that we bought, and they had to be shared.
Wow.
And interestingly, as a female, I got one over half of what our last boy got.
Half of what your male counterparts or male siblings.
Yes.
Half of what your male siblings
exactly.
got. So your last born
got more than myself.
So, wow. Well, that's interesting.
Which some people will query and they will question.
Okay.
But that's why we have guests.
Why is that so?
Well, that's why we have guests in the studio.
True.
And it's a high time we let them. It's not our show,
Yes,
We are just here to anchor. And it's a great pleasure to welcome to the studios of AIMS Media Company Limited. Let me start with our mommy, who's been here since, Hajia, Kairat, Abolanle, Egberongbe. You're welcome.
You're welcome, ma.
She's the proprietor of Tesmo group of schools. You're welcome.
Ma'am.
A retired civil servant, and then, and he's not new to us, now.
The friend of the house.
Ustaz Zikrullah Kunle Hassan is the immediate past chairman of NACON. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you.
It's a great pleasure to have you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam to lakatuhu. Now, this is your forte. We deliberately picked you for this topic because research has it that you have educated a lot of inheritance issues, and we just feel that we should share from your wealth of knowledge. Yeah. In plain language, for those watching and all of that, how can you explain to us? We know that there are some religious sects that have already explained everything in their holy books. But assuming that other people watching, they don't necessarily belong to those groups, how do you explain inheritance to the understanding of all? Thank you, sir.
You see, inheritance, simply put, are issues that occurs when a number of elements take place. For instance, the owner of an estate, by estate we mean some properties, is dead. So that's the first thing. We can only discuss inheritance when the owner of such property is dead.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's
And you know, there are cases where somebody died and yet there are no family. There are no family, he's dead, but yet there's nobody to inherit him. It does happen.
Wow.
Yeah. Or maybe it's because he's in a place far away, distant from his family, and nobody knows how to contact them. So again, for inheritance to take place, apart from the fact that the owner must have died, there must also be somebody legitimately to inherit. And of course, sometimes too, and very importantly, there must be something to be inherited.
Heritage.
Yes.
Because I must tell you this, of a particular case of somebody who was so rich that he was a billionaire. And did make in his will so much, in millions of naira, to even extended member of the family. But do you know what happened? He also indebted to banks in the billions of naira. So sometimes people, instead of inheriting wealth, they will inherit actually debt.
Debts.
So in his case, despite that there is documents indicating how he wants his property to be shared, maybe at the time he was doing the document, he was of the belief that he would have offset the debt. But that was not it. So it makes all the documents that will make them share the debt very, very inadequate. So what happened? In the last 10 years, they have been battling with settling the debt.
The debts.
Wow.
So what I'm trying to say is that there must be a deceased person, there must be people who were heirs, that is who are entitled to inherit us, and certainly there must be something to be inherited.
Interesting. Any insight, Hajia, to the
I
explanation?
think inheritance is transfer of deceased person's wealth, property, rights, and access to those who are legally entitled to receive them after all the necessary obligations have been fulfilled. These obligations include funeral expenses, payment of debts, and execution of valid wasiya, if there is any.
Interesting. We'll dwell more on those
Yeah.
theses that Hajia has given us. Yes,
Inshallah.
Hajia.
Inshallah. Yeah, so I just want to say something. I know that inheritance has been the major causes of family conflicts. You know, since that's how can I put that in English? So what do you think?
Time
Time
immemorial.
immemorial.
So how can we look at this? What should the focus be on when we're looking at inheritance? Should it be on preservation of wealth or preservation of relationship, family ties?
Family ties.
You
Sorry,
see-
sir. Before you answered that, you said something very instructive, that when the person dies, we know of one of us who till now we are not even sure if he's dead or not. Do you understand?
Sure.
What happens to such inheritance?
Well, usually, because debts
Silence.
Okay.
are meant to be, inheritance are meant to be done as quickly as possible.
Good.
What usually happens is that the one person who is lost, his own share will be left alone, usually for some years, between 5 and 7 years, when it can be presumed to be dead. There will be a presumption in the favor that is dead. That if we cannot reach out to somebody between 5 and 7 years, we can only assume that he's dead. But other than that, his own share will be preserved until they are able to be sure that it's located or not. But after some time, it will be presumed dead.
No, sir. In case it is the person now that to be inherited, not that.
It will be presumed dead, one way or the other too. If it's presumed dead, that means the property is meant to be distributed.
Okay, can attend to her.
Yeah, so now the question is whether or not we are to focus on preservation of wealth or preservation of relationship, the family ties, basically.
Your question suggests to me that you are making a recommendation because that's the hint.
Lawyer.
Because when you are saying you are trying to emphasize the importance of relationship. But you see, like you also hinted from time immemorial, human being has been human being.
Yes.
Human beings are people who are product of greed, product of fraud, product of ambition. That is who the human beings are. All these elements are in all human beings, but some are able to suppress these negative traits.
Yes.
And that explains why all this law must be available. Okay. Because if they are not available to serve as a caution, it will be like you are just trying to preach. And you know, there are a number of times when you preach and they will tell you are just a preacher. Yes. There must be things to enforce. I agree with you, relationship protection is very important, but the human greed is also innate in many people. So what we should emphasize is that we should be able to operate the law to the fullest, in which case it doesn't matter whether you have lust for money, whether you agree to take the other person's rights, you will be obliged to follow the rule of the law of the Islam.
Yeah. Okay, she asked a very pointed question, which, you know, as a follow-up to your response so far, why is inheritance a major issue in our society, particularly when we know that we are, first of all, Africans, we belong to the different religious groups, and once, is it that people are waiting for the man or woman to die for them to fight over whatever is left?
Yeah.
Well, again, like I said, that's human element. Forgetting that what you are fighting for, the owner is dead, and of course you too will also die. And I'm sure if that thing resonates in the minds of so many people, they will just ask them. It's just a funny way that sometimes you ask how humans seem to, you know, interrelate with each other. Why did I say so? Whether you like it or not, this thing you are fighting for, you are still going to live it yourself. You are going to die anyway. So this house that you are fighting for, it must be mine. Except you sell the house will survive you. The jewelry, except you sell, it will survive you. And when you sell, it will go to another place that will survive you.
Yeah.
So human beings just need to constantly remind themselves that death is inevitable and that there's a need to show caution when you are trying to grab things of the person who is dead, the death that also will come to you.
That's true. So, Hajia, I want you to bring us back to this present state while we're still alive. What can parents do? Or let me first put it this way. Do you think parents unintentionally cause this conflict that, you know, that kind of erupts when after they're gone?
No parents will.
While you are answering that, maybe you need to also share some practical experiences, because I know for sure with our pre-recording program, you are a widow and you probably have some experiences to share in that regard.
No man or no woman will do that. We want his family to go astray after his death. Like I have my extended family. My father were about 21 children and 4 wives. So after his demise, he has already written everything down the way it should be done.
Was that necessary? I guess he was a Muslim, right?
And he followed Quranic injunction to do all those stuff, all those things. So after that, after his death, he mandated all of us that every month we must be coming to family meeting.
Okay.
And since 26 years ago, he has gone. We are still doing family meeting.
Wow, that's interesting.
What's the essence of that family meeting?
To bring us together.
Wow.
Okay, so that we will not.
The tie of kinship.
Look at that now. So that speaks into that preservation of that relationship. So, and he had arranged that before his death.
Yeah, we have been doing that meeting before his death, and he said everybody, if you really love me, make sure you come to family meeting. And you discuss, and we are still discussing the estates, the houses.
But I would like to do some interjection in what you are saying.
No, I was even coming to you.
Well, maybe because Hajia was luckier. In truth, there are some parents who already are original to the trouble that finally emanates. For instance, you just told us here now, your younger brother, when time to share arrived, he was getting more than you do.
Of course, twice.
Why is it that you did not fight? It's because you know that this is a Muslim family.
Practical, all the theory you have heard before.
Because this is a Muslim. So when a person is a Muslim, but his household is not so directed, somebody can come and say, what an insult.
Question.
I am old enough to be your mother. You want to share the same thing with me? What an insult.
Or even more.
Or even more. If you say even more now, I'm not even going to allow you to take as much as I do. What nonsense. Why? Because the foundation of Islam was not there. Secondly, again, if the father has shown preference, not just when he was alive, but even in his death wish. What do I mean by that? Two of you are women, for instance, and he said to Mariam, because she was very wonderful. Very
excellent.
Very excellent.
Very brilliant.
Very brilliant. Whatever I tell her she does, please give her 2 houses. You see this Hajia, she's always stubborn.
Very rude.
Very rude.
Arrogant.
Say, give her only one. You see this boy, that one their brother that refuses to go to school, don't give him anything.
The parents still do that though.
Yes, those are scenarios.
Yeah, it does happen. I've witnessed a situation when the man chose to, put all the 4 children out of his property. He didn't, when he wrote a will, it's a will now, he didn't even give them anything in his estate. The elder man just came out with cutlass and said, look, I don't, this one is not that I'm going to use any African science or traditional African science. This one is that I'm going to kill everybody.
Wow.
But the day they were reading the will, he said, I'm going to kill everybody here, and I'm ready to go and die too.
Wow.
The people said, don't worry, we will rewrite this will. What I'm trying to say is that even the head of the family, having run in violation of Islamic law, is already created danger. So sometimes the danger is there. And purpose of some of this discussion and the enlightenment part of it is very important. That don't create bitterness after your death by making undue preference for some even do preference for wives. Some do preference for wives.
We are coming to that, sir. We are coming to that. The program is AIMS Podcast, reaching you from the studios, reaching you live from the studios of AIMS Media Company Limited. We are discussing a very, very interesting topic, inheritance. How does it affect you? We want to hear from you. Send in your comments. We have erudite scholars, practical experience that will be able to tackle your questions or your comments. Let's go for a short break. We're back soon.
AIMS Media Company Limited offers media services for developmental journalism, public relations, marketing, event coordination pan-Nigeria, and training. Top-notch media content comprising documentaries, talk shows, magazine and children's shows, each and all promoting family values for sustainable development. Our partners, collaborators and patrons span individuals, groups, corporate bodies, government, NGOs, UN bodies, and more. Be reassured that our studio facility will meet your yearnings of digital solutions to your broadcast content. We are peopled by board members with unblemished track records and major players in the corporate world.
Hello, it's Child Crest.
Our panache, passion, and professionalism make her the lead driver of our goal-focused team. Entrust your brands to AIMS Media Company Limited to add value to your corporate existence while meeting your target audience. www.aimsmedia.com.ng, info@aimsmedia.com.ng. Like us on our Facebook page, AIMS Media Company Limited. AIMS Media, turning your dreams into reality.
You're welcome back. It's the AIMS Podcast coming to you live from the studios of AIMS Media Company Limited. Today we are focusing on inheritance. How does it affect you? If you have not been affected in any way, anybody close to you, I'm sure you are very, very much abreast with the shenanigan in the society, particularly on this issue. And we still have in the studio, he's a major adjudicator for this issue, for so many families. It's a pleasure to welcome back again Ustaz Zikrullah Kunle Hassan, immediate past chairman of NACON. Welcome back to the program.
Thank you very
You
much.
also know that
I'm not in the immediate
Oh,
past chairman.
I
was
beg
a
your
past
pardon.
chairman,
Past
but
chairman.
not immediate.
Yeah, has been several. Yes. So, pardon. Well,
Yes.
the shortness of time, you know, so we still feel your presence there.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
All right then. So it's also former Amir of the Companion, former Amir of MSS, and so many. In fact, the present director of Dawa of the Companion. Welcome again to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Then we have an astute technocrats with us here, Hajia, Kairat, Abolanle, Egberongbe. Thank you very much for a proper educationist who is also here to share her wealth of experience as a widow. She has shared the one as a daughter. Very soon we'll hear she will be sharing the one as a wife. Hajia, how do you feel?
Well, alhamdulillah, it's been stimulating, of course, and I'm learning. You know, I just heard something today that I'm finding. I'm still wrapping it around my head. Like,
What
really,
is that?
does that really count? What Ustaz just said earlier on about you know, inheritance and what this what's that thing about
Preferences.
parents
Bias by
Well,
head
it
of the
happens
family.
now. That's the bane.
that-
Yeah, it does
That's
happen
the
regularly.
what is okay now? We have, let's bring it down to this our reality in today's age, this Gen Z's world, where most of these young ones, they do not really care about these things. Why should anyone in their young, maybe in their 20s or even teenager, why should they care? Because they're all there on social media now, and they rarely care about what their parents think or feel. So they go ahead to do against the parents' wishes. So why do you think we want to bring them back on now to know that, okay, inheritance is beyond just giving wealth or whatever. So why should they care about inheritance, or should they even care at all? If they should, why should they care?
Well, you know, purpose of inheritance include preservation of generations, lineage,
No legacy.
and even, you know, there can be generational wealth created by inheritance. There can be general wealth. There are some people, there are some businesses in Japan that is several hundred years.
Yes.
It is through those generational wealth which has been systematized. Not that the man is rich, it's just do some few things and then
Generation to the other.
yeah, one generation to the other. So that itself is possible. If a man has enough, in fact, let me tell you, the truth is that it's better you give something back to your children than to
Leave them in penury.
in penury. There was a case, and very important one, where a companion was very sick and had just a daughter, and he thought he would die. Sad bin Abi Waqqas is the name. And he told the Prophet, please, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, I think I'm dying soon. He didn't die anyway at that time. He said, I want to give everything out because of my love for Islam. The Prophet said, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. Your family is important to you. Your daughter is important to you. He said, can I do half? The Prophet said, even half is too much. You can't do that. And then he said, okay, how about 1/3? The Prophet said, even 1/3 is much, but okay, we can allow that. So it's from that time we now know very well that it's part of your duty, if you have, to protect your family. You shouldn't leave them in penury, because when you are gone and you are the only one who know most how to source for financial you know, support for the family, and you go again without anything, and landlord will, you know themselves, the landlord will issue notice to quit.
Permit me to keep you right there. You just mentioned this companion now who had just one daughter. And what that means is that now I'm coming down to Hajia. So we have been able to understand that in the Islamic perspective, a woman is not to be inherited. She even stands to inherit.
Interesting.
Given this, right?
That's an
Yeah,
interesting
So now,
angle.
Hajia, what was your experience as a woman? You know, you've expressed to us now the one about when you were a widow and, you know, Abi, she's a
No,
widow,
parents,
two parents now. So now,
When
as
she was
a
an
widow-
orphan.
When she was an orphan. So, and how, you know, the legacy your father had
Left behind.
ensured that he played some right before his death, and that you guys still continued up until now. So, as a widow, what was the experience? Because we know that in Nigeria, in our climate, Africa generally, and in our climate, you know, women used to be inherited.
Inherited.
So what was your experience like?
I can say my husband learned from my father's practice.
That's beautiful.
So before his death, he was a little bit sick, and he called me, and he made sure everything is documented.
Okay,
All
that's
what
good.
he has was documented, and he enlightened me about how to do it if the eventualities comes. So, and I follow his instruction because his instruction tally with the Quranic injunction. So that was what I did.
Okay, so were you the only wife? Because
I
that
can
is
say-
where the bane of the issue
I
happens.
can say
Probably you were the first, that's why he called you to.
It's,
So how did the sharing formula go
it's
if you were not the only wife?
I'm the only legal wife according to Islam.
Is there legal
Yes.
wife according to Islam though?
Yes, you said what?
Is there legal wife according to Islam?
Yes.
Islam,
If there is
once
no
you marry,
valid
to
marriage,
sanwo, what you
if
marry.
there is no, if there is no official marriage Islamically, they are not entitled.
Ustaz will be explaining that.
Okay, okay.
They are not. I don't-
Well, you see, we're going to be very bold
You are not
here.
unfamiliar with this story.
Yeah, well, yes.
You are not unfamiliar with this story. I need you to break it down, sir.
You see, yes, you see, in truth, there are so many oddities. That is things that are strange that do happen, and that sometimes we have taken to be the right thing. And I'm going to say it this way: congratulate me, the girl, that girl that I told you I met at bus stop. I impregnated her, and she gave me
That's a
twins.
baby.
Can you imagine? So congratulations.
And they start calling him Baba Ibeji.
Baba
Like,
Ibeji.
congratulations.
But you know that under the Sharia, that those two children, twins that I call,
Yeah.
cannot inherit the man.
So good. That's the point.
Maybe
where
that's
I'm
what
going to.
she's trying to say by saying legal. I'm not going to say that.
So that's still like out of
assume.
wedlock in the
because
English
that's what-
parlance, out of wedlock.
because if people just get to know that this thing I call oddity are not things to be celebrated, that these are nonsense that we seem to have come to think is the best thing. You know, funny enough, there's some family that will say, if the girl is not pregnant, we cannot
No
fix the marriage
marriage.
date. Whereas technically, that child is waladu zina, is child of fornication. Under the Sharia, is not meant, the child is not meant to inherit.
Okay, so now you have brought up another issue. You know, some of you men,
And these are the
apologies.
These are the children out there today. Oh. I will not put down.
It may be that an Agdunika has been done without the knowledge of the wife.
Sure.
So you can't say that was.
Yeah, it may be. Yeah.
So if there was no celebration galore and everything to celebrate the nikah, you cannot consider that as illegitimate.
No, it's not. It's quite legitimate.
Okay.
Because marriage is a contract between two people.
So I'm coming
With
back to
witnesses,
you.
of course. There will be witnesses.
There will
As
be
long as it
witnesses.
fulfills all the other
Oh,
rights.
sure.
Yes.
of
I'm
marriage.
coming to you again.
Okay.
I appreciate you are sharing your personal experience here. But I'm not sure this is the case that, you know, the other wives, so to say, or other
The other women.
women
Yes.
that you shared or he legislated some gifts for, inherited, fell in that category.
Whatever the late person left, it cannot make you a wealthy person.
No, it depends on the volume. Oh.
What I did in my own
It depends on the
case,
volume. Hajia. Suppose your late husband is a billionaire and he left you
In dollars.
he left you 2 billion. People are getting 2 billion inheritance. So.
me, I've not. I
Hey,
don't have such a thing. I don't have such a thing.
suppose he give you 2 houses in Ikoyi.
But let's go to the nitty-gritty now. This plural marriage thing is something that has already been legislated. It's even
Allah.
African. Why does it always cause problem? Is it that the man hasn't done the proper thing? Or is it that some women are being very greedy? Or is it that there is no legitimacy, like we have said earlier? Why should it be an issue, particularly when children are involved?
Are you sorry for me?
Yes, of course.
Well, let me first say that I have said human beings are greedy.
Yes.
And so sometimes it may surprise you that here in this country, because I'm not mentioning names, so I seek the protection. One of the most celebrated lawyer in this country since the emergence of this country had just a wife and had 4 children. He did a will, but after his death, the family were torn apart. What am I trying to say? It is the greed element. These are people with only a wife and 4 children.
And side.
There was no side.
I think Ustaz is just focusing on just the
Okay, the family alone. Issues with the family.
Yes, there was no even side.
Wow.
And I've seen cases where it is battle of a son against the mother.
Wow.
That's what I.
So you have this son against the mother, but yet I understand the point you are coming from. That immediately a man who has maybe 2, 3 wives died or 4, people go back to their tent. Mother calling the children together and say, let's go to war against the other group. But sometimes it's also possible that the way the man has started the journey wasn't really right. Some doesn't care whether 2 of you fight together. I think it's a lesson for people who are in the way that you have to do this really the way Allah wants it. There could be some pain because human nature is there. I'm not going to allow you this, but after some time, if he truly is for Allah and His Prophet, he will finally agree. But my father was a soldier, God bless him. When I say soldier when it comes to the affair of men. And one of the things is that I used to say this to how my father, as strong as my father was, my last born is older than 3 of my father's children. That tells you how my father is.
So your last born's uncles and aunts are younger than
yes, that shows you who my father was.
Okay.
So, but still, because he was not hiding it, all of us will get to know each other. So when things are to be distributed, of course, like I did say, those young ones will get what I will get. And if they are boys, there's nothing we'll do. Of course, some of us are no more interested in things like that. Allah has made us to even do much more than our parents did. Of course,
definitely. You see, this issue of plural marriage, we cannot, because that is the cross of issue of inheritance.
I don't think so, Hajia, because that's what Ustaz just said.
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
For instance, a man marries more than one and doesn't make others official. And at the will point, you now see people surfacing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, and the so-called legal or first wife says, no, I'm the bona fide. Nobody. Have you seen cases like that?
Well, first, severally. I mean, it will never end. And that's why we advise people, truly who are Muslim, that you have no business in going to court registry. We tell them very clearly, if you ask me to follow you along to court registry, I will not follow you, because that means you are already preparing some basis of war eventually, because by so doing, you're already keeping yourself out of the Islamic law. But if that is not the case, there won't be official wife. I marry A. In that case, I try to bring 1,000 people to the marriage. I marry B. I went with only my friend. 2 people. His marriage is valid. As long as all the rights, there were witnesses, and there were offer and acceptance. And of course, it's known to my family. That is important.
Yes.
Because sometimes some people hide it. And I've heard sometimes that the reason they hide is because of you people. And if they don't hide, some people will die.
Some people will commit suicide.
Some people will commit suicide. And they say, instead of you to commit suicide, I think I better hide. I don't support the hiding. Because we have seen cases where it was when the man is being buried that children will start surfacing from everywhere. I know a guy who told me, he was my client, though he was not a Muslim. He said his father was his best friend. But the day his father was buried was the day he started deep hatred for the man. He said because as they were doing the funeral rites, people started coming in.
Wives and children.
Yeah, his wife and children. And he was like a carbon copy of his father. But he said guys came in and they looked more like their father, even him.
So no argument, no DNA.
And you know, with those kind of children, they look more like the father.
No, in his own case, they're even older than him. So the father has been at the game a long time. Nobody knew in the house.
Wow.
Some of them were older, some of them were younger.
Wow.
So this kind of things is, room for destruction. It's room for that kind of family, you have already determined that it should go for destruction.
Okay, we'll
So
be coming
just
to you.
before-
I think there's a question
Yes,
pending.
yes. Thank you to all our viewers out there. Thank you for your continue sending in your contributions. So here we have this comment from one of our viewers, Mr. Sodiko. Sodiko, Sister Sodiko, not Mr. She said there's a recent video on the internet where the husband of a lady died and the family were ready to take over his property, that is the deceased property. His father was on top of the voice, that's the late man's father, and he was arguing with the widow. He took it by far, hitting the wife.
Wow.
And it baffles her because the widow was shouting, Ibrahim, Ibrahim, and this is an indication that they are Muslims. I think this person sent in this to show that as a Muslim, is that permissible? Is it allowed in Islam for families to want to, claim a deceased property as opposed to taking care of the wife of the deceased?
Although it's too early, but I must get to this because of importance of incident like this. And that's why we try to encourage even Muslims in this kind of society we have to write a will. In that will to indicate that my will, my estate must be divided in line with the Islamic law of inheritance.
That's even a will.
That's enough will. You ask witnesses to sign it, and you mention maybe your executor. For instance, Millet Ansar Society of Nigeria execute the will on my behalf. Some people think that, unfortunately, that wife is part of the property. Some people believe that by marrying a woman, they are doing favor to her. That she's just an annexure in the family. She's not a part of it. And that's why we have seen cases where the moment the man dies, they will take away the key, lock away everyone, ask the woman to go to a house, say that we are going to distribute these children to everywhere, and that come back in another 1 year, and we will now determine what to do. What a nonsense.
Inheriting children.
Exactly. Some
Yeah,
people
they inherit children too.
or dictating to the woman, we are going to marry you to Lagbaja or Tamedi.
An uncle, a brother.
An uncle,
If
a
you say
brother,
no,
a cousin, even a cousin.
If you say no, then go to your house. Then you are not going to give you anything. This is absurdity. This is absurdity.
I have a personal experience on this. So when my late husband passed, I had, not from the family, someone from outside, like, could you not remain in the family as, and I'm like, as how, as in, I don't understand, as how. So that was my first reality shock that, oh, this thing really happens beyond seeing it in,
there are
movies
some
and
Africans
stuff.
Family that still practice that.
Really?
They want you to remain in the family. Your brother will marry the wife and all of that.
Or some would not even
That's
want
a
you to
choice,
marry.
really.
It's a
That's
choice.
a choice. It's a
But
choice.
it's
Just say they'll take care of
Yes,
you.
it's a matter of choice.
Okay.
Some don't even expect you to remarry. They'll say they'll take care of you and take care of the children. Yeah.
But Hajia, you have been a bit quiet. Let's share your experience now. There's a pending question okay, you were answering when we came in. You shared an experience with us earlier that the banker was shocked when he saw you and your son coming to collect the elements, but it's usually not the case. Can you share that little experience with us?
Yeah, it was after the demise of my husband, so we were running after the whatever.
Gratuity.
Gratuity and so on. So they gave us the check. They said we should go to, I won't mention the bank. So we went there, and getting there, they gave us dates. And that date is not comfortable with the person I went with. And he told me that I will be on duty that day. So we now reschedule. So after coming back, when they gave us whatever, so the woman now called me, said, Madam, you have a very good family. When you are the first family that will come for this thing that will not settle rafts.
Rift.
The rift with. So I say, how do you mean it? It's my son. You see, son do fight mother.
Yeah,
Mother
sure.
do
Ustaz
fight
mentioned
son.
something like that earlier.
Uncle comes here to fight themselves. You are the force, and I appreciate that. And I say thank you, and I went out.
Okay, now, Ustaz, is it possible for somebody to relinquish his or her will? For instance, in a family of multiple wives, for instance, and then the wife will just say, please, I'm not interested, you should just go and take care of. Is that allowed?
That's donation of rights. You can do so. That's sadaqah. What we are doing is giving sadaqah. This is my right. I relinquish it. That is sadaka. People
But won't
do
that also cost another rift? Who will not take it?
If it is willingly,
it will return to the estate,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then they will distribute
if
accordingly.
it is willingly.
Some of us in my father's estate, that's what we did.
Okay.
We said,
But why should, if these things have been legislated, why must we keep having issue, particularly when we know that these wealth are ephemeral?
well, I will tell you why we will still have an issue. There are some people, you don't know whether to categorize, whether the way they are living their life is as a Muslim, or whether the way they are living their life is as a traditional person, or whether the way they are living their life is as an English-oriented person. So there are some people who can have that three in one. You know that I've visited a man before. He's Oluwo of a particular place. It's also Baba Adini of a particular place.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I won't mention because he will serve as embarrassment.
Wow.
I was surprised. And he has a certificate that was not hiding it. Hajia, you are not with us. So if somebody was an Oluwo,
I heard everything.
and it's also Baba Adini, and he now dies. So tell me, which rules are we,
Will
which
you
laws
apply?
are we going to apply
And
on his estate?
And even he may be a Muslim, a practicing Muslim. He may be praying, doing this. He may not know what is
The
expected
nitty-gritty.
of him
Exactly.
pertaining to will
So
sharing.
the laws, I mean, the information about how Islam has stated, is this something that need to go very, very wide?
So that means there's a whole lot of ignorance that
Yes.
people need to.
I've had instances of imams who have, given me the instruction to write their will. And I'm talking of very deep scholars. That it has always baffled me that, Sheikh, but this thing is not what Allah says. It's Masobang, Masobang.
That's how I will do it.
No, opening order.
Interesting.
Halima. I've seen her. I said, why? I said, that woman is a bad woman. I must deal with her. So when I'm dead, I will deal with her. So no money.
Wow.
But
Wow.
you see, that preference is even emanates even while on earth. You say you're already showing preferences. Everybody already sees you that you have a preference, you have a favorite, and all of that. So it would not be surprising if that reflects in the.
But you know, sometimes preference is a matter of the heart.
Yeah.
But when you want to put your will down, it should be a matter of the head.
Fear of Allah.
You know, even among children, sometimes there are preferences. Because you have a child who is always obeying you,
Instructions.
while one who will normally disobey you. I mean, you enjoy being disobedient. So even no matter how much you try to be just, your heart will still go for another one. But when you want your estate to be administered, when you are gone, you have a duty to ensure justice. Because if not, you are going to be punished anyway by Allah.
Well, Hajia, I want us to quickly treat this. You know, earlier we were talking about how in Islam, the position of Islam is that a woman can inherit and they're not to be inherited. But why do you think in this time and age, we still have women losing their wealth or losing their inheritance, losing their property, simply because they are women, especially in some climes, in some maybe
Cultural
parts
setting.
of of this country, for instance?
If they follow the Islamic injunction, nobody will lose because there is particular share for women and there is one for two portion of what
A woman
will take,
gets
the
is
man
what the
take.
man- Okay.
And it's not, it has reason.
Okay.
It's not just like that. Allah knows that men are more financially responsible.
The men
than
are meant
women.
to be more
Because
financially
They are meant to
responsible.
be. Oh, thank you. Ustaz,
I like
so
that.
why did you carve that the sentence that way?
Because originally, let us be honest, there are quite a number of irresponsible men over there. Because what Allah, I mean, the import of Islam for doing that is that you are supposed to take care of your sister
Yes.
if she's not married. You are meant to take care of your aged mother. You have a responsibility to also take care of your wife. But if you leave your wife to even take care of you, even your sister to take care of you, and you still go back to your mom every time and say, Mom, I'm broke, and you still want to collect double, and because Allah says you should get double anyway, that is irresponsibility to the core. So men must understand that the reason why you are giving this preference is because you are assumed to be very responsible. You have a duty
lot of bukatas
to be responsible. Exactly. You have a duty to be responsible.
Okay, let's look at it this way. You know, we can't but talk about the plurality of our society. Particularly among the men folk. Is it proper for the man to, just like you enumerated earlier, what is usually the sharing formula of the wives? Must it be the number of children they have when the children themselves are inheritors?
No, again, like we said, you know, it depends on who you are. And I'm telling you the truth. Some men, they are Rasaki by name, but all their head is only African. There's nothing Muslim. They do observe Salat, but you see that culturally, they are far away from the Islamic principle of how you should operate your life. So in such cases, there are still people who do what we call idigi, that some woman has
today people
children.
still do it.
But it is why there are many cases in court anyway, because nobody is going to allow you to have just 2 children and take the same with the person who has 10 children. Nobody will allow that anymore now. Because they are doing a digi. Which digi is that? They will tear the igi apart. So now, what ought to be the Islamic rule is very clear. There is no children hiding under the mother's wing.
Enclave.
Take your own. Let the mother also take his own. Now as a wife. It's not taken as a mother. It's taken as a wife of the deceased. You take your own as the children of the deceased. Everybody, although there are cases where sometimes because the child is a minor, the mother may still also serve as guardian in how it is administered.
Okay, so some women feel that you come and maybe a junior wife come and take the same with me when I have suffered for this woman, I have nurtured, I have this. What do you have to say to that? Okay.
There are some reasons behind this idigi,
Okay.
which I experienced.
What is a digi?
Idigi
For the purpose
means,
of our viewers
idigi
out there.
means if you have 4 wives, all your property will be in 4. We go to
equal places.
parts.
Okay.
That
So
is
even if
idigi.
wife A has 2
More
children,
children.
wife B
That's
has
where
10
I'm
children.
going.
Oh.
I experienced where the first wife have just a daughter, just one, and that daughter is the first child of the man. The second wife have 8 children, 6 boys and 2 girls. The third has 4, 3 boys, 1 girl. The fourth one have 4 girls and a boy, and it was shared idigi. And the man has reason when they asked the man why idigi. He said that first child did not go to school. Though she has opportunity to go, but she can't make it. So she didn't go at all. The woman with 8 children, all the children go to university, they travel abroad to study
So
without
they can take care of themselves.
money.
Okay, so that made them to earn more.
That is why the man and the other ones too. That was the reason. Those are the reason that those other people, those other children have enjoyed the money more than enough. That woman is that only woman that is the first child is still far back. So in order to help her, that's why they.
Is that justifiable?
No, it's on Islamic.
No, that's
Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way in Islam, because as far as we are concerned anyway, if the man has not been able to do the proper thing, let's just be honest, not everybody need to go to school. Those days are gone now. There have been children now who wants to do sports, and they will be eventually be the people the family will look up to later. So if somebody doesn't go to school, why is she not allowed to trade? She could have been supported in her trading. If the man didn't do the right thing at that time, doing the wrong thing later in life will mean that he's answerable to Allah. The issue of a digi is by all purposes very unjust.
Culturally and otherwise.
No, we don't even know why they said so in culture, but we don't know the culture is dying. What we do now, what is done now, even by those who are not Muslim, who are traditional, is more of ori ojori.
What's that one?
Olu usually means put
equal.
everybody together, share in all.
Equally.
I mean, that is closest to Islam, even though that is not Islam. In Islam, Allah the Almighty has already apportioned what should happen to A, B, and C. That's why, in some cases, father is also entitled to inheritance.
Yes.
Even sometimes grandfather.
Yes.
Even sometimes grandson.
Explain that, because I hear that it is when you have the absence of some people.
And that's what I'm saying. I say sometimes. That's why I use the word sometimes. I didn't say all the time. When the man died and he has no father, but there's a grandfather, you will give the grandfather. A man that has no children, but the grandchildren are alive, then you give them. Well, otherwise, if those are alive, it won't go up. It can only go up by way of gift. But I'm only saying that is how extensive Islamic law of inheritance is. That in itself is a whole lot of school that wanting to go through. We as Muslims must continue their education. That Allah has been very expansive in explaining to us on how we should govern our lives by way of our property when we're dead. And because of that, we need to continue. And that's why we keep on advising people, why don't you write a will and state that I'm a Muslim. After my death, I want my property to be administered in line with the Islamic law. And I want these people to be in charge. Because if you also don't say that, some idiots can come and start coming up with... I've been involved in one before, and the person is not an idiot too. It was just making an idiotic statement. No, it wasn't an idiot, but it was making idiotic
that clarification was very important. Thank you for that.
But what is the idiotic statement? He was saying, you know, since the third wife did not have a child, we must protect her. I say, we must give her one house now. You know, she doesn't have a child. And this one, by the time they are distributing, the one with 4 children, they will get more than her. I say, Mr. Man, this thing you are saying, well, I didn't say idiotic, but I said, and he's a scholar, I still agree to be a scholar, but I ruled him out of that because I was the chairman of that. But that's what I'm saying, things like that do happen. So that's
they just use the logic.
When they use logic, and you know, it's look logical. This one has 4 children. They're going to give 1, 2, 3, 4, and the mother. This one has 3 children. 1, 2, 3 plus the mother. This one only her.
But as a wife, she is entitled to inherit anyway.
That's what I'm saying. She thought that this thing is disproportional. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He was using logic instead of using the law. So
interesting. But you see,
but the awareness must continue. That's why I must really salute you for bringing this to the fore. The level of ignorance is deeper than you imagine. It's so deeper than you imagine. It's so deeper. And sometimes some people, they have already put themselves into trouble. When you marry according to common law, you may be restricted by the time you want to die, by the time you are dead, in now asking your estate to be distributed in line with the Sharia. Your wife will go to court. Particularly if she's that person who is very greedy. She will go to court and go and take Mariam and say, Mariam, please, can you imagine the cheating? Can you imagine the cheating?
I mean, I'll stand up because as a woman for woman.
This is my marriage certificate. And look at the man cheating me. Please go and help me to enforce my rights. And that's one useless woman that she went to marry in one obscure mosque. They are now saying she should come and share with me. And then there will be problem.
But you know, that sympathy is always there, both on the men and even the women. You start life very early, you struggle and all of that. When you are now making money, you marry more women. So the woman is like, I'm entitled to all of this, you know. That's where, what do you think of this? I
think what the man should do in such a case is to gift the woman before his death.
The one that has suffered with him.
Gift, I think in law they call it gifting survivors or something. So you can give them, knowing fully that this is all part of what is to be shared as inheritance by the time I'm dead.
Even the wase can take care of all those.
No.
It cannot. 1/3 can be as a gift.
No, because the prophet was clear, said,
not for two persons that will
inherit. Not be for those that are originally intended to inherit.
La wasiyatin lil waris. For those who are entitled, you cannot write
that gift for them.
Yeah, okay, you can. If they are entitled, you know, the reason why it's there is clear. A Muslim cannot inherit non-Muslim. A non-Muslim cannot inherit a Muslim. But you have a non-Muslim wife. She was good to you. That explains why you can now use that power of 1/3 and said, out of this 1/3, give 30% to her. She was a good woman, or 40%, whatever you share you do. Because originally she would not inherit.
And even where you feel that she would not inherit, I mean, they would not, you know, let the inheritance go through, the 1/3 go through, you can gift her while you're still very much alive.
And you know, this gift you are saying, you know, sometimes it's also original wahala.
Yeah.
Because maybe I'm the second wife now. You see, because you are the first wife, you have done so much, they might just go and buy a new S-Class for you. I mean, I'm still using the old Toyota. That before you die, you go see where wahala.
Okay, so you know so, we're discussing earlier regarding illegitimate children. That is sometimes another bane. Where children will be born, you say, this one was not legally born or anything, cannot inherit. Kata go bust.
That's what I'm saying.
The man supposed to have settled that matter before because he knew what he has done.
Okay.
Yes, he should have settled all those matters before the inheritance issue comes up.
So this
and even if you are the first wife, and some people brings your husband's children as a Muslim, there should be pity, empathy, and whatever you can do, but you should do for them.
It has to also be proven. It has to be proven. We are aware of some situations where children will just suffer from anywhere and just because they want to get something. Yes, Hajia,
and there have been cases where DNA has proven that they're
not original biological.
Because I mean, we are hearing a lot of that now. Some women just come and said, I had this child for you 20 years ago. 20 years ago, where? We met at one corridor.
So, before we move on to our last word, because now, inshallah, we'll be wrapping up shortly. Before we ask for the last word, we would like to know, do you think it's to prevent disputes at the end of the day, you know, after the demise of the deceased, do you think it's proper for someone to already distribute his estate before death? Yes.
The question you'll ask me, is it allowed?
Is it allowed?
Because if the word proper may not be appropriate.
Okay. Is it allowed?
You know why I said this man, he has maybe one Okada that he's using to survive, and he now distributes the Okada to somebody, and 20 years he didn't die. And when you are gifting somebody, you must transfer ownership rights. So Rashid is that one that gave me Okada. So that's why I'm saying that sometimes one has to be very careful before you gift, because you may not die. But otherwise you can gift. One celebrated issue of gifting was the now called Rajihi, who was the Rajihi Bank in Saudi Arabia. When he had $16 billion US, that is his net worth, and he decided to distribute all while he was alive. Actually, what he did, because it was not a will, is that he distributed 1/3 of it to his children, and turned the 2/3 to a waqf. Endowment, so that in his
continuous charity,
can continue his charity. He built a very big mosque for his mom. He set up an extensive scholarship fund where people are studying all over the world. And his argument was that he came to life very poor. He struggled, and eventually became very rich. He said he would like to meet his creator, a poor person. So in his own, so that is what he did. But you know, in his own case, how can a multi-billionaire in dollars ever be poor? He has already provided for
continuous charity.
So the man just look at it that what can even eat as a food? Where is he going? So in that case, you can, but it has to be well
structured.
Well thought of, actually.
Yes, in final words now. Counsel for women folk particularly. You just talked about empathy and all of that. Let's counsel us.
We come to this world with nothing, and we are going with nothing. Even if you have everything here, you are not taking anything there. Why must we struggle over the property of somebody that has gone? What about your own? Who will struggle about it? So we have to be careful. A Muslim must always reflect every time with the Quranic injunction that says it's better, the family ties is better to be unique before you go than scattering your family because of property. So I think
I'll ask you a very personal question right now. Do you have your will already? Have you prepared your will? You're a woman, you're entitled to also have
whether I have a will or not, I know my children. They are even fast in Islam than me. They know what to do.
Okay, good. That's it. That's good. I love that confidence.
And I agree with that. You know, one of those things we have enjoyed in our brotherhood is that when somebody loses a spouse, it can be rest assured that those who are left behind, they are going to help to ensure that the rule of Islam governs how his estate is going to be distributed, whether he writes a will or not. But I ask men there, please, don't scatter your family yourself. When you have gone to hide some members of your family somewhere, they are not known until when you die. When you write a will and show preference for one over the other, you are the one creating problem for yourself. And please settle your debt. So that you are not going to say you are giving them something, whereas what you are giving them is less than your debt. So you are eventually giving them nothing.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your coming, and we hope that this will serve as a nasiha for so many people. Thank you very much for coming.
It's been a really enlightening one. Thank you so much.
How has it been?
Refreshing. Yes, very much so. Very much so. So we would see you again next week, inshallah, on Friday by 5 p.m. Remember to follow us across all our social media platforms, and when you can still put in your questions and contributions when you're catching up the replay of the show. So
see you next week. Thank you for coming. What are we talking about next week? The environment and you. How does that sound? Catch up with us. We'll be here live on the studios of Ames Media Company Limited.
Bye.